You wouldn't want free health care?
No, if I got it, I'd want to pay for it.
Why wouldn't?
Because I don't want nothing for free. What kind of world does people get shit for free? That's just ignorant.
MAGA voters are genuinely shocked to find out that in many European countries, health care is completely free. Yes, you heard that right. No bills for seeing a doctor. Today, we're diving into the meltdown of folks who thought universal health care meant universal bankruptcy. Welcome back to Mind Mirror. Let's get into it.
So you moved to Portugal, and now you find yourself in a situation where you need to go to the hospital. What's healthcare really like here in Portugal? Well, wait till the end, because I'm going to give you a tip, and I'm going to tell you how I took care of that situation so I have peace of mind when it comes to health. But wait till the end. What I am going to tell you about first is I'm from Canada, and if you need to go to the hospital, you're going to be waiting for 4, 5, 6, maybe 10 hours if it's not urgent. My dad was recently in the hospital, and he had to wait 8 hours to be seen. Unheard of. But it's not just Canada. In London, in England, the national health system, same shit. You get free, just like in Canada, but you gotta wait. Waiting times are ridiculous. And then if you need some kind of operation or some kind of, specialty exam, you're gonna wait for months, even years. Terrible. Portugal, same shit.
Wait, so Portugal, Canada, and England all have long wait times, but the difference is you don't get a bill that makes you want to sell your kidney. That's the MAGA confusion right there. They see a wait and think socialism disaster, but ignore the fact that in the US, you might get seen faster, but then you're staring down a medical bill that'll haunt you for life. It's a choice between a long wait and financial ruin, or a quicker wait and financial ruin, but somehow they're convinced the US way is freedom.
If you go to the hospital, you're going to be waiting. And if you need some kind of exam, you're going to be waiting. So although it's free when you become a resident, you do need to get private health, because private health care in Portugal runs alongside the national health system. And there's really great doctors here in Portugal. Fortunately, they're still keeping them. A lot of them are leaving because the state, the government, tax the citizens to shit, but doesn't pay worth anything to the doctors. Of course. But having said that, there are great doctors here in Portugal. So what you need to do is you need to get yourself private health insurance. You can get health coverage 20 to 100 euros a month, depending on what your needs are. Now, 50 euros is what I started with, and it's great coverage. It allows me to go to the private health if I need it, and I can still use the national system if it's nothing that urgent. Really great tip. Now, 50 euros is nothing. And it doesn't matter where you're from, if you came here from Canada, America, if you got a lot of money, if you came here from India, if you don't have a lot of money, whatever, it doesn't matter. 50 euros is not a lot of money. You spend more than 50 euros a month on probably stupid crap like smoking, drinking, eating out, other things. You can save 50 euros. Pay the 50 euros and get the private health care. It'll save you a lot of hassle in the long run if something does happen. Now, what I did, and this is what you need to do, is get yourself a Portuguese insurance broker. I did, and man, this guy, he's from the north. Not only did he get me health insurance, he got me car insurance, he got me motorcycle insurance, he got me house insurance, he got me insurance for my business, and he finds the best providers and gives you exactly what you need. He's amazing. So I truly recommend that. And if you need a contact and you're coming here, message me and I'll get you hooked up. But so something to think about. If you're coming here, great system, it's free, but get yourself private health insurance. That's all I got. Ciao.
Let's talk about the big bad boogeyman Fox tells you to be afraid of, universal health care. It honestly should be one of the very few things that every single American agrees on, regardless how you're registered to vote. And any politician putting up a fight against it needs to be voted out of office. I don't care, Dem or Republican. Especially those on the take by insurance companies.
This is the core of the problem. Any politician fighting universal health care while getting paid by insurance companies should be out, period. MAGA folks will rant about the swamp, but defend the very people profiting off their sickness. It's pure cognitive dissonance. They want to drain the swamp, but are actively feeding the alligators with their own money and votes. It's like complaining about being hungry while simultaneously refusing to open the fridge.
But let's check in with Fiction is Fun, Freddie, with Fox News.
Oh, Medicare for all, and no one questions it. Let's start questioning it.
Let's do it.
How much is it going to cost?
It's going to cost upwards of $70 trillion over 10 years. On the high end, on the low end, you're talking about $30 trillion. So this is money that doesn't exist. He talks about a little bit more tax, and that's the tease of democratic socialism. We're going to give you away things, but it's a gotcha. The money's not there. You can't, even if you tax every man, woman, and child in America, you still don't have the money.
So you even said, for example, the richest people, the Forbes 400.
Yes.
So they're the problem. The rich are the horrible people. So
Terrible
now they got to pay. What should they do?
Fox News says that Medicare for all is going to cost $70 trillion. $70 trillion. Hey, Fiction is Fun, Freddie. How in the fuck are you coming up with your math? The United States population 2026 is approximately 342.6 million to 349.3 million people. China's population is 1.4 billion people. And yes, China has a near universal basic medical system that covers 93% of their population. So Fiction is Fun, Fox News. This goes out to you. Are you saying that China can afford a $70 trillion healthcare system? Oh, I'm sorry. It would have to be hundreds of trillions more by your math, seeing the population difference. Meanwhile, the U.S., under Republican economic policy, is $40 trillion in debt. And yeah, that's a statistical fact, regardless who the past administrations are, and increasingly so with the Donald Trump administration. Republicans, administration after administration, increase our debt, our deficit, to the point under Donald Trump now where we're paying more on interest than we're bringing in. And Trump spends recklessly on anything and everything except the American people. And Fox News lies and tries to scare the American public, saying it's going to cost $70 trillion for universal health care. Fox News, your math ain't mathin'. And even though you pleaded in court that you were entertainment and not news, you more closely resemble stochastic terrorism. And you can take that to the bank.
All these people saying that universal health care will make it so that you got to wait months and months and months before you can get a doctor's appointment to see like a specialist or anything. It's just already happening in the U.S. and we're already paying out the wazoo to see a doctor. You know, we got.
So Fox News is out here screaming $70 trillion for universal health care. Yet China, with a population 4 times ours, somehow manages a near universal system, and their economy didn't implode. It's a classic MAGA move to use inflated fear-mongering numbers from a source that admits it's just entertainment, all while ignoring the fact that the U.S. is already drowning in debt thanks to repeated Republican policies. The math just doesn't add up, and it never will for them.
I wanted to go schedule an appointment with a urologist, right? And they're like, oh, yeah, we're booked out for 2.5 months, 3 months. I'm like, what? They said, yeah, there's a shortage of urologists right now. And I'm assuming it's just a shortage of doctors right now. And I feel like if we had universal health care, there would be enough money to encourage people to become doctors, right? Like, they wouldn't have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to become a doctor and be in that kind of crazy debt if we had universal health care, because that would mean that the government would make sure we have enough doctors. They would make sure that we have enough people coming to the country that are doctors, give them incentive to become doctors, to take care of the people. But no. Everyone is so brainwashed by Republicans and conservatives that they don't want to be healthy. Oh, there's nothing wrong with me. I don't need to see a doctor. Well, one day there will be. And one day you will wish that you didn't have to wait 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, a year to see a specialist for something. And yes, this is a cooling band for my head. I got a crazy headache right now. But like, I just don't get it. And it's almost like it's too late to fix it, because to become a doctor, doesn't it take like 10 years or something like that? At this point, you know, we're not going to have enough doctors. Even if we passed universal health care, let's say we get a Democrat in office in 2028, we won't even have enough doctors until 2040. And then what? Population's going to fall off because people couldn't go see a doctor. I hate this country.
You wouldn't want free healthcare?
No, if I got it, I'd want to pay for it.
This guy's out here saying nobody deserves anything for free while literally using free roads funded by taxes. The sheer hypocrisy is staggering. He pays cash for healthcare like it's some badge of honor, but one major illness and that cash disappears, replaced by a debt he can't escape. Meanwhile, he's clinging to the idea that this is somehow freedom. It's not freedom. It's just a different way to go broke. But at least he can tell himself he owned the libs.
What? Why wouldn't?
Because I don't want nothing for free. What kind of world does people get shit for free? That's just ignorant.
Well, there's, you pay taxes into a system.
Nobody deserves anything for free.
Nobody deserves anything for free?
Nobody deserves anything for free.
What about public libraries, roads?
That isn't from the government. If it was from the government, no, we shouldn't have it.
No, that's from the government.
The roads are from the government. The government should do the roads. That isn't free. We're paying taxes.
Right. Well, you could pay taxes for health care.
Well, I don't want to. Everybody just pick their own doctor and go to the doctor they want to. When I need to go to the doctor, I go to the doctor and see them, and I pay them cash.
But you wouldn't want everyone to have the ability to have free health care?
No.
They had an American on the show, and he got seen at the A&E, and he was about to leave, and he said, "So where do I go to give you my billing information?" And they said, "Pardon?" And he said, "Well, I'm not from here. I'm from America. And so I assume there'll be a bill." And the ladies all looked around, and they said, "We don't have a billing department." And he's like, "What? But I don't live here. I don't pay taxes here. I don't pay into your system." And she said, "That's okay. We can take care of our visitors. Go out and have a good rest of your trip." I was floored. And so was the American. She said, "We don't have a billing department. I can't take your information or take your credit card info because we don't do that." And he was like, "So the healthcare that I just got, the scan, everything," she's all, "It's covered. It's fine. We can take care of our guest." That was astounding to me.
Have you ever wondered what it would be like to have free healthcare and education? Norway is mainly known for winter sports, salmon, Vikings, and now also every World Cup. I lived 27 years in Norway and 15 in America, so I can speak on some of the differences. The US imports cars from Germany, garments from China, coffee from Ethiopia, and there's a couple of things I wish they could import from Norway. Mainly free healthcare and education for all. First thing,
hundreds of millions of people across Europe with all their different ethnicities and backgrounds have universal health care. Yet MAGA voters cling to the small homogenous country excuse. The scale of that argument completely collapses when you realize Europe has more people with universal health care than the entire U.S. population. It's not about skin color. It's about a functioning system that prioritizes people over profits. But facts are inconvenient when you're deep in the propaganda.
social democracy is not communism. It's a free market. Taxes usually covers the basics for most. America spends about double the amount per citizen on healthcare, yet it's still wildly expensive. While in Norway, there are no insurance companies for the hospitals. You just go and pay like $50, whether it's a splinter or a brain surgery. The country negotiates medicine prices as one unit, making it a lot cheaper than in the US, where everybody pays for their own. Most arguments I hear in America against this is that it's a small country and so it wouldn't work in the US. Well, the same setup works in Denmark, Sweden, England, Germany, pretty much all the European countries, totaling about 700 million people with free healthcare in Europe alone. So that argument is not true. People also like to tell me that it's a homogeneous country, so it only works there. But again, hundreds of millions of people throughout Europe, all with different ethnicities, makes this not a skin color issue, but math that can be scaled. And keep in mind, there are also paid options, so nothing's stopping you from paying a private doctor if you like. Same goes for education. College is free, and you have private schools too if you like. Although taxes are higher, they increase with how much you make, so the richest pay more. But if you add up all the expenses in America with healthcare and college, etc., it actually costs more here in the US. It's all simply just covered in one bill. And so my takeaway is this: for any country to be able to compete in the modern world, a healthy and educated population is the way to go. So the question is, do you want free schools and healthcare? Or do you prefer to pay for play? Let me know in the comments if you think America is ready for social democracy.
Americans have no idea what they're missing out on with the free healthcare system. I lost a bottle of my HIV medication while on a trip because I've been hostel hopping and I just left it in one of the rooms. I told them that I lost it. Immediately they gave me another bottle, no questions asked. And they're just like, here, have a good day. I was like, oh. Because in the US, it's $3,000 a month if you don't have insurance, and it's still $300 or $400 a month even if you have insurance. It's just a high deductible or something. But in Italy, it's free. You just walk in. You don't have to worry about dying or anything. And it just makes me think of all the people in the US who literally just can't afford medication, and they're either passing on HIV to other people, because it's not like people are going to stop having just because they can't afford the medication, or they just end up dying because HIV then progresses to AIDS without the medication. And I know the US has programs and stuff like that, like the Ryan White Foundation, but damn, having HIV in the US has made me rethink my career paths just to make sure that I'm going to be able to.
This woman is sharing how she got her HIV medication for free in Italy after losing it, 0 questions asked. While in America, that same life-saving medication can cost $3,000 a month. She's literally having to plan her career around affording to stay alive. Let that sink in. MAGA talks about freedom, but people in the US are choosing jobs based on whether they can afford not to die. That's not freedom. That's being held hostage by a system designed to make the rich richer
And stay alive for the rest of my life. I wonder how different my life would be if I didn't have to worry about the cost of my HIV medication.
Okay, so I just recently had to use the public healthcare system here in Italy, and I wanted to break down everything that I paid and I what it was for, because free healthcare doesn't mean it's free. For instance, when I gave birth and I was pregnant, all of that was free. I never had to pay a ticket at the end. But here in Italy, when you go to an appointment, you typically have to pay a ticket, and it can go anywhere up to I think 40 euros or something. So I went to 4 ER visits, which were all free. So I didn't pay anything to go to the ER. I went to 3 clinic visits that were also in the hospital, but they were appointments, so those I had to pay tickets for, which were 17 euros and 90 cents each, which equaled 53 euros and 70 cents. And then I had to get a bunch of prescriptions. So my prescriptions were, I had 20 euro for one, 48 euro, 36 euro, 34 euro, and 18 euro. I had to get a swab done in my eye. That was free, so that cost 0 euros. So in total for my eye infection, allergic reaction, herpes scenario that the doctors were trying to figure out, it was in fact an allergic reaction. But for all of that, I ended up spending 158 euros and 48 cents using the public healthcare here in Florence, Italy. So free healthcare doesn't mean free, it just means extremely affordable. This was over the process of about a month. I think I went to appointments every Friday for about a month. So yeah, that's how much I spent.
In Sweden, once you've spent $300 approximately in a given year on healthcare, the rest of your healthcare for the entire year is free. Like when I go to doctor appointments now, because I've already reached that cap, I pay nothing, zero. I did a month-long intensive stroke rehab program. I was going 3 days a week. I did not pay a single cent. Nothing, because I had already paid $300 in healthcare this year. That's like one urgent care trip in the US.
The classic Denmark has high taxes argument. They throw out the 60% number like it's the end of the world, but conveniently skip over the fact that when you add up all the costs Americans pay, premiums, deductibles, co-pays, surprise bills, we're often paying more than that 60% and getting significantly worse results. The MAGA math conveniently leaves out all the hidden costs. Meanwhile, Danes are healthier and happier, but sure, focus on the scary tax number, never mind the debt.
Choose your character.
You know, you guys really love to make shit up. Denmark has an average tax rate of 60.5%. Since when? Show me that. And most people know that universal healthcare or free healthcare is paid through taxes.
We're there. We have reached it. We are going to have universal health care because of Donald Trump. November 18th, 2025, the day Donald Trump pledges, basically, to give us universal health care. This is what he posted. I am recommending to Senate Republicans that hundreds of billions of dollars currently being sent to money-sucking insurance companies in order to save the bad health care provided by Obamacare be sent directly to the people so that they can purchase their own much better health care and have money left over. In other words, take from the big bad insurance companies, give it to the people, and terminate per dollar spent the worst health care anywhere in the world, Obamacare. Unrelated, we must still terminate the filibuster. Okay, this is for... I'm so sorry. So that money that's going to insurance companies through the Affordable Care Act are our tax dollars. Our tax dollars. So that is universal health care. What Donald Trump is saying here is the fundamentals behind Bernie's health care plan. That's what Bernie's health care plan. He had a plan in writing. It was like this thick, but it aimed to take that money that Trump is talking about and put it directly into our health care premiums, so that we don't have to pay anything. That's how much money is being funneled to insurance companies. And that means Donald Trump supports socialism. That's what socialism is, to be exact. That's what it is. Jeez.
Do you support universal health care?
I do, yes. I think healthcare should be a right. I think it should not be something people have to feel is burdensome or difficult to find. It's like your life. You should be able to have that. You should be able to live without fear of cost.
Not a socialist, but everybody deserves a right for.
She just stated healthcare should be a right and you shouldn't live in fear of cost. And the MAGA response is that's socialism. Seriously, wanting to live without the fear of medical bankruptcy is now a radical leftist idea. It's the same crowd that's pro-life, but won't support basic human needs for people once they're born. The contradiction is so profound. It's like watching someone argue the sky's green while staring at a blue sky. It's pure, unadulterated nonsense.
Well, and you need...
Wait. But hang on a minute. You're saying I'm not a socialist, but then you're like, I do, though, want socialized health care. That's socialism.
I don't know if that's called socialism.
It is.
Everybody needs to have the right to have a doctor and be taken care of and have an advocate that helps you figure this out, because there are none here. There are none.
Yes.
What I'm going through now with your father, it is like,
yes.
But it shouldn't have taken me to be in this position to know this, but it did.
Okay.
So I'm
and that's
here.
fine. And I think that's a very common thing with most MAGA people. It's hard for you to look outside your immediate life to find empathy for anybody in a situation that you yourself are not personally in.
Right.
You are in that now. You are seeing firsthand that the medical system in America has nothing to do with doctors or patients. It is completely run by insurance companies.
Insurance companies. That
they
is
make
correct.
every decision.
That is correct.
So like Dad right now, Bob, for those watching the show, he's in a rehab facility trying to get better, to get back on his feet. And the decision about how long he should stay in this place is not made by the doctor, is not made by the patient. It is made only by the insurance company, who has a bottom line about profits. That's all that matters. That's how the entire American medical system is run right
And
now.
we will be kicked out of the rehab facility next week sometime.
Yeah.
I need every person in America who is advocating for universal health care to do me one favor. Not being hypocritical, because I have already done it. Wait until you are sick, something serious, and then go to any country in the world that has socialized medicine. Let me know what happens, and let me know if that is still what you want for our country.
Let's think about this for a second. You're telling people to get seriously sick, then fly to another country, a country where they aren't covered by that country's healthcare system, and make a comparison. That's fucking brilliant, Irvin.
This person is suggesting people get seriously ill, fly to a country where they're not even covered, and then use that experience to prove socialized medicine doesn't work. That's like intentionally getting soaked in the rain and then complaining that water makes things wet. The logic is so warped, it's almost impressive. Meanwhile, Americans pay twice the per capita cost for healthcare compared to other developed nations. Yet we're the only ones facing medical bankruptcy for common illnesses. It's a rigged game, and MAGA is cheering for the House.
Okay, we talk about how much American healthcare is and how expensive it is. They just released these figures, which is a comparison of the U.S. with other countries. This says it all right here. Bro, look at this. Healthcare costs per capita in dollars. I assume this is annual. Pretty sure it's annual. Let's hope it's not monthly. But let's look at the other countries. Like the average is $6,000 across all these countries. Italy's at just over $4,000. This is adjusted for U.S. dollars. You got United Kingdom at $5,400. Australia $6,500. You've got Germany at $8,000. Switzerland at $8,000. The U.S. at a whopping $12,055. It's double the average. So yeah, if you're feeling it in your wallets in the United States, you're not going crazy. It's as bad as you think. And that's before everything that they're saying is going to happen, which is that their healthcare costs are going to go up hugely in 2026. Which let's hope that doesn't actually happen. But that's what everybody's saying right now. Scary times in the U.S.
So the world has collectively figured out that healthcare shouldn't bankrupt you, while a segment of Americans are still in disbelief, clinging to a system that's demonstrably failing them. The mental gymnastics are unreal, defending higher costs and worse outcomes by simply labeling any alternative as socialism. It's not that we can't do what Portugal, Italy, or Norway do. It's that propaganda has made it incredibly difficult to accept a reality where people aren't punished for getting sick. Do you think America will ever catch up? Or are we destined to keep paying more for less? Let us know in the comments. If this video challenged your perspective, give it a like, share it with anyone still stuck in the echo chamber, and subscribe for more reality checks. We'll see you next time.